Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's time for the J. Craig Podcast. Playing on headphones near you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the J. Craig Podcast. I'm Jay.
I'm Rob Free.
What's up, Rob?
Yeah.
So, most of the time, if you listen to the J. Craig Podcast, we talk about movies and music and movies and music and video games. And today we're going to do a little something different. We're going to talk about video games, just video game. Nothing to do with movies, just video games. So, Rob and I have this thing. We get together and we just go crazy on games. And we don't do it very often, so it's one of those things where you get to bottle it up, right? Mm-hmm. And then you just get to explode.
Yeah. Yeah.
We call it Game Club.
Yeah, Game Club. Little GC.
That's right.
Little, video game challenge.
Yeah.
We play games from, we're playing a modern game right now, I think Tekken 7, but we'll play Tekken 3.
We're going to play
Tekken 3. I mean, that's
right?
from 20 years ago.
Right.
And that's PS1, and then we got our PS2 favorites.
There's a lot of PS2 favorites.
How old are those?
What was that, 96, 97?
No, the PS2 was in 2002.
2002, wow. That's okay.
Yeah. 2001, it's not 2. Maybe it was 2000, you're right, but it's late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
And we in Game Club, we span the universe and time, really, of all good games, I think. I don't think we go as far back as Nintendo. We probably could. But at least our entry point from our friendship, I think, was centered around the PS1. I think that's really what it is. It's
Yeah, and it's all about, when these things happen, right? So this is early college for us. So when these things kind of started happening with these video games, we were right there, right? We were just knee deep in playing video games. Yeah. A lot. And so that's where it comes from. And so we still play those games. That's what's really cool about when we do our little gaming sessions. Today we're playing, what are we playing today?
Hit start in your control. Yeah, we're playing Tekken 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we want to do today is not just play, you're not just going to watch us play a video game. No. That's not what this is about. This is a podcast, but we're going to talk about what makes a game great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what makes a game great.
Yeah, for sure. We should touch on that.
And of course, we'll give our top 5 at some point. I'm sure we'll break into that aspect.
Let's break into that. Yeah, absolutely. We have to have our top 5, just like most of our podcasts we do together. We like to share our personal soundtracks, or I think last night was our personal biopics, or the last time we got together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the music biopics.
So, it was biopic. Yeah, right. So it's starting.
Oh man, what am I supposed to do here?
It's starting the controller. Yeah, and then I hit start. So it's just designating which side of the screen we're going to battle from.
So we're going to talk about what makes a game great, and what else are we going to talk about?
Well, longevity. I think that the topic we got into. We knew with the biopic topic that one was going to segue to another, because really the live musicianship and the actor actually doing the singing is really that crux factor. But with games, I think what the single most thing that defines it, obviously, if it stands the test of time, and this is like movies, like music, most works of art, if they can stand the test of time and stand up over 15, 20 years, not just by fanboys like us, because we love the Tekken franchise. Oh yeah. But do these games stand up? And that's replayability and longevity. So I think that's its own topic. Actually.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So we're going to get to a lot of these cool aspects on video games, and let's start. Yeah, like I said, start earlier, like with what makes a game great.
Yeah.
And this is a really hard topic for me to kind of try to analyze. So when we were coming up with, what to do. With I'm going to play this guy. Cool. When we were talking about what to do, and I was trying to do my own background, work here. I was having a hard time trying to figure out how to think about this, because there's so many different consoles, and they all represent something different when it comes to gaming.
True, right. And I think since you've had the major players, like the big 3, I think you can count PC as the 4th.
Sure.
We're talking, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. These are the 3, and ever since the E3s I've been watching for the last 10 years at least, that's really dominated the 3 major players, because they have the hardware. Right. I guess PC is like a 4th. That's what I'm trying to say, because you can do things on PC you can't do on regular consoles.
Right.
So that is the approach of what console you're using. And I was going to say also preference. Clearly we're going to have to give our preferences, guys, because we're talking video games. There's so many, like we can play John Madden football. We could play like a shooter, like Doom or something. They're very different games. You know what I mean? Even some of the Wii Sports games and the way that you approach that. So yeah, we kind of have to focus on
it's all relative, right? So what your preference is in one way, shape, or form. Just because we don't think one of these games is our cup of tea doesn't mean it's not a great game. There's a lot of great games out there that I just don't like. Right. It doesn't make them a bad game. It just makes it something that's not mine. You know, I just don't like it. Right.
True. But there's a reason why that game is standing up the test of time and why it's on that list. Because I will watch the top 10 PS2 games just to see if I've missed any. And in fact, with the library of 350 games, like the Xbox 360 has such a huge library. I'm always like, hey, are you gonna use Terrascasi grip or not? Should we use Tekken grip? Are we doing Tekken grip on this? I think I want to do Tekken grip. Oh, I think I knocked your hat off.
Isn't Tekken grip?
Hey, I knocked his hat off.
Terrasasi?
You can do Tekken with yeah. It's like fighting style.
If anyone's never heard of Terrasasi, it's Star Wars. Terrasasi, man.
Yeah, that's
Masters of the Terrasasi.
And now that game's from 98.
So we have our own battle grip
97,
for it.
Yeah.
So we put our fingers up on top of the buttons, and it's a better way to systematically.
Here's what makes a game great. Why do we love Terrasasi, for example, right? For me, it has the dee-doo-dee-doo, even the start menu. It has R2-D2 as the sound, so the sound effects are spot on. The lightsaber sounds, even the blaster sounds that you're hitting me with last night. You know what I mean? It's very, very accurate. Yeah. And this came up with the biopic thing. How accurate is it? You know, that's very important with what makes a good game.
That's true, too.
Does it hold up?
Right.
You know, is it a 10mm pistol? Even for the 1949 games, there's the World War II games, although those, World at War, there were some really accurate, I think, historical weapons that was going on, right?
There's always good, there's man. You're just,
power move.
Panda bear.
Oh,
thanks very much. So, I mean, that's I forgot what you were talking about, man. I got lost
the longevity, the game, the game that you can keep playing. You know what I mean? That stands up the test of time.
That's important, right? That's what does make a game great. You're right. So, I think the other thing we talk about Terrasasi and the sound effects and how authentic it is.
Right, authenticity.
I think another thing you can play off of that is the character. Like, who's involved with the story?
Okay.
You know, and is somebody that is cool, interesting, or just another character, right? It's like anything, right? You got to have a cool new kind of character.
Absolutely.
So you have like Indiana Jones characters like, now it's Lara Croft. It's the same kind of character, but it's a little different.
And I appreciate how they did that too, because and actually that's probably a separate podcast. But why do video games that try to completely replicate a major film, why are they disaster games?
Right.
You know, they're typically horrible games.
They are typically horrible games. So, right? No doubt about that.
There's one thing actually, and that just speaks to the game designers, probably, I'm guessing, and also the timeline. Actually, I have looked into this. There's been many articles on the topic, but why do they suck? And we'll just touch on it briefly. The deadlines. You know, they'll finally have the budget and realize that okay, we have money left over to not only have the game but advertise your game and put it at GameStop and have it pre-release. And there's all these thousands and not millions. Look at this guy, the millions of dollars that are spent. Yeah, you know, is it in our budget? Oh, it is. Now it's greenlit. They call the studio. We need you to make a video game. They're like, oh, how many years do we have? They're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah, well, maybe. It's probably I don't know how it is, but the point is that these AAAs that we like, Last of Us, they take years to make. Last of Us 2 is not coming out. It's going to be so perfect when it comes out. You know, I don't want to add fuel to the fire. People are really pissed that Skyrim 6 isn't coming out and a proper Fallout 5 isn't coming out. They gave us this other Fallout, which is, hey, games take time. If you're going to make that masterpiece, it takes years. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, actually movie replicate games suck, and that's why it's Lara Croft. Right. Because they didn't have to call a studio. They didn't have to get greenlit. It's their own IP.
Right.
And that IP is sucking us in, frankly.
You've
always loved the Lara Croft character. You really.
So it's that familiarity with.
And that was Nathan Drake. I'm sorry, Nathan Drake. I love the guy. Yeah. I'm just like so nuts about that franchise.
Yeah, it's a nice way they've gone. It's the same kind of character, man. Indiana Jones, Lara Croft,
right?
Nathan Drake, right?
Treasure
it's just
Hunter,
a different formation.
Little humor in there, little wry smile, and one-liners. You know,
He's morphed into a different shape all the time.
So he's a hero then. So what I'm hearing, this is almost like film. What makes a game great? It's almost what makes a film great too, as part of the characters. They suck you in with a story and stuff. Right. You start with, what is this guy? What's his purpose? You know.
Yeah, like
it's pretty interesting.
Elle from Last of Us. Is it Ellie or?
Yeah, Ellie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. She has a story.
Yeah. You care about her survival.
Yeah. Well, spoiler alert. Mute it right now. But yeah, you find out that she was bit like 10 minutes into the game. You know, you've realized that, now Ellie, she's bit. I mean, the first part of the game you play as Joel, And then he finally meets her, and even when he meets her, he has to escort her out of town, and it's not until they get jumped or something, and he finds out that she's bit because the guards stop him and scan him. Oh, he's clean. Oh, wait, she's infected. And even the detail, you look, the character looks over. I mean, they do motion capture. They really do.
Yeah,
live action films, so that's why they look so good. But
exactly.
But
so
those characters,
movies,
when you find that out, you're like, oh man, she was bit. Oh, she's not infected. Oh, is she the one? And then you're like, where are they going to go with this?
Yeah.
And they take it to a believable place that's not cliche. It's a little bit, but it's not too much.
Right.
But man, it's not just like watching a movie.
Exactly. But it's just you get to play the movie, man. That's what's so cool about it. So that's what's nowadays. That's why I said I had a hard time thinking about how to process this idea, because I think about it in different ways. Like back then when we were playing these things, it was a different.
Oh, these
feel for me.
So here we got. Let's tell the camera here.
Oh.
Here we got for GC. We have our relic boxes here. Mm-hmm. This is an OG. I don't know which model, but it works, and I'm thankful. A PS1, but not really the PS1. The PS1 was released after the PS2 as like a reboot.
Oh, I see.
The little smaller one. They're white.
It was just
it has the ONE on it. Yeah, no, this is a PlayStation one. I should say it's not a PS1.
Just PlayStation.
It's a PlayStation, exactly. PS2 here, and the PS3 is in the other room that we don't really use too much for GC, but we do use it for PS4.
We're using the PS4 over here.
Because, PS3 was more. Honestly, my PS3 career was definitely a lot more. I always had like Call of Duty, like Black Ops and stuff. A lot of online shooters was spent on that console. I mean, there's a few. Last of Us, I played it for the first time in PS3. So there was games, Fallout, the Fallout franchise was pretty sweet on that console, but really,
and that's what's important is being able to play with all these different things.
Yeah,
these different consoles, different eras of video games, because that's what makes this game club so special for me. Is that we're playing the stuff that we played back then, not just the new stuff.
Oh yeah, it's like listening to an old record. You're like, I love this song.
You get to play the old stuff. And it brings back those those memories of playing those games too, right? When you were doing that stuff back 20 years ago.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Where's that? Did we hide the Tekken 3? The PS. Well, we had
the box.
It's okay.
It's somewhere over here.
It's somewhere over here. Nah, it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Hey, we're on Tekken 7.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
So what else makes a game great? The character does, the longevity of it, but what else makes?
The immersion.
Okay, so like the detail.
Well, exactly. And these are hand in hand. It's immersion and it's called attention to detail.
Okay.
I think the attention to detail will cause the immersion.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? You just can't create immersion and then all of a sudden your attention to detail is taken care of. I mean, maybe it is because...
Is that one and the same though?
Well, if the game designer can immerse him or herself into its environment and what they're creating, then maybe all of a sudden they want to go make... do render the mulch better that's around the tree outside the window. Well, the character's probably not going to look out the window.
Right.
I mean, there is a lot of characters. That's why when I'm playing games, actually, after I studied game design for a little bit, just, as an amateur hobbyist, I realized how much goes into it and like how many people it takes to design these worlds. And if your character's going down a certain path, they may never go see these alternate paths and locations, Right. There's optional treasure chest rooms. I don't know if you played like God of War. You played through a second time.
Yeah, sure.
And
never played through it again.
Well, we'll save this because I want to save trophies and the rewards and achievements. That's probably for more of the longevity topic in of itself. But the immersion, if you can be immersed in there and forget where you are and really just be like, I'm in this world. I believe everything in this world.
Right.
Horizon Zero Dawn is a new one that was just like, wow, I'm in this world with these rules. It's a little different. I felt that way when I played other great games in the past. Final Fantasy 12. I could name a few. From that system, and now Fallout 76. I feel like in this world, it's just constantly evolving, and that's another longevity topic kind of game. But point is, I'm in this world, and I feel like I'm in this world because every last little flower, and like look at the detail here.
Right.
You just see stuff in the background. Like, see, there's a bird. See that red bird back there?
Yep.
Look, he's freaking eating the bluebird next to him. Yeah, I didn't even see that one. You pointed that one out to me. That's cool. Well, anyway, we're playing a fighting game that has nothing to do with the birds in the background.
Right.
But when I'm playing this, I do appreciate and feel like I'm outside nature,
So, but like immersion and detail, those are both similar, but you're right, they're different because when you have today's games, it's about immersion. It's about getting you Fallout 76.
Or like Take Me Away, Calgon?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It's about you're just because there's so much to do. There's so much to know. It's such an open world. It's your choice, and you're just like you can do anything, and it's kind of bewildering. And for me, it's just like, what do I even start?
I was gonna say overwhelming.
Yeah, that's a good.
I did have small panic attacks when I did like a 1 day. I think it was a 1 day marathon one Saturday. I played for 8 or 10 hours, there was so much to do, and obviously I was probably playing too long. But probably it was healthier for me. I take breaks every hour or so.
Right.
I walk around and look outside the window. But
So you went for your deep dive game.
I was having fun with it, dude.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite games. So I was having fun, but I just started going, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. Oh my gosh, inventory management. Oh, it was crazy, and it was like having a mild panic attack, and I had to shut the thing off. I was like, yeah, I'm going to put on some stand-up comedy or something. I just got I got to wind down.
I got to shift gears here.
So immersion gone bad, actually. No, let's say this. No, there's people that died from playing EverQuest and they're peeing in jars and stuff because you can't ever leave the game. So hey,
and
let's
then
not.
We should talk about reality
that.
aspect.
Yeah, virtual reality. We should talk about the bad. There's bad drawbacks.
Right. So that's what
I know it's not healthy to play for 8 hours a day, but I try to take breaks.
That's the modern aspect of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Back when we were playing the PlayStation or playing the Nintendo or the Sega Genesis or anything else, or even PC games, you're immersed only into what you're doing. It's not the world that you're immersed in, right? It was different kind of gaming.
A little bit, yeah, right. It was set up differently, too.
Right. So this is a little different type frame now, so...
Oh, especially, with MMO and all that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so that's what we didn't have back then,
we didn't
right?
Have that.
So it's totally different, but it's still...
there's no internet connectivity on the PlayStation.
Right. And so
the PS2 barely figured it out halfway through its life cycle. But,
exactly. So, and that's what I think is cool is that some video games, for me, the reason why they're great is that you can go back and play them and you still get the same kind of enjoyment out of them. Yeah, they don't look as good, they don't sound as good, but hey, you know what? It's a fun game still, and it still holds up. I mean, obviously that's the it's the easiest definition, right? What makes a game great is something that's going to be able to, like you said, longevity. It's the same way of saying that.
But and how does it do that? Let's talk about the nuts and bolts. And one is immersion. How does it stand the test of time? It means I put it in and I still feel like I'm stuck into that world.
Right. Okay.
And the inventory management's so addictive and fun, but not overwhelming. And that's why I say like Final Fantasy VII. There's a few games where why is it good? Right down to its inventory management. Okay, I'm not just talking the graphics and everyone's this and that. When we get to our top 5 lists, we'll explain a little bit more in detail, I think, what makes it our personal flavors. But let's talk about things that are on these top 10 lists that I used to watch on YouTube or in magazines. So what else? I like the detail.
Detail's always good. Yeah, I mean that's like you're talking about birds, or you're talking about flowing of the hair. You're talking about
Forza 7. I only noticed in replay mode when the car's going around the corner. There's one of these race cars that has its wheels on the outside, right? So you can see into the wheel. Like you can see into one of the wheels, not just like from this angle. You can see here, and that's where the brakes are. Everyone knows I have the brakes. Right. And I was going through an instant replay, and only just because I was in replay and I was zoomed out that I had this camera angle, and I think it was auto follow. But my car started going around a turn, and it was showing me driving, but the camera was zoomed out to an angle that I did not see because I can't drive the car like that, but it was like movie mode.
Okay.
And as the car went around the corner, the little brake hub, the metal brake, went glowing from steel to like orange and like yellow.
Oh my gosh.
And as I got hotter and as I applied more brake, it got hotter.
Yeah.
And I would have never seen that if it blew my mind. Me and my kid were playing Forza, we're playing a racing game, and I was like, stop, Simon, do you see that?
Right.
That is crazy that they have attention to detail. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens. It's called friction. The heat is generated.
Right.
And naturally someone had the idea, hey, why don't we make the brakes light up? I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. And the rain effects, we'll put that in. I don't think you've seen that now.
The detail is, I mean, and that's what really draws you into some of these games, right? And I mean, I think that's super cool, but you're right, you don't notice it.
Yeah.
You don't notice it, but it's so cool. And that's the reason I like about that is the fact that you can go back and look at the game that you were playing.
Right.
And do the replays and zoom in and out. And the fact that you have control of the camera now is what I think makes the games that are the great ones nowadays, are because you have the interactive aspect is becoming more and more involved.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
You always thought about, hey, I wish I could move my head this way or a certain way, but now you can do all that kind of stuff. And I think that's a really cool aspect of what makes a game great is that kind of cool thing.
Yeah.
What about ease of game?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, because difficulty, that's something to mention, because video games, we all know, for a lot of people out there, maybe they're turned off by it, it's like, dude, that game's too hard, there's too many buttons, actually. They look at the buttons. See, I wish I could, everyone has seen a...
he's distracted.
Oh, no, he's gonna get... Everyone's seen, like, what, a Nintendo controller? So there's the pad, and then there was 2 buttons, I think, here, and then you had 2 buttons in the middle, select start. Right? So that's 4 buttons here, and then a little thing. Well, we've already hit... But even just going halfway across the controller, now we have 1, 2, 3. These are actually separate buttons now, which I guess they were before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 buttons. I've already have more buttons
on this side.
On this side of the controller than the entire controller that I grew up on.
Right.
So it literally is twice as many buttons.
Yeah.
So that's a
Crazy.
fair point. People can be like, yeah, there is.
It is.
And not only that, but remember they added a gyro mechanic in some games where this thing had a 6-axis.
Yeah.
And you could balance. I think that was kind of neat. And for flying,
it was pretty cool.
I didn't like it during the fighting game. There was this whip girl. She was a sweet character, like Blade or something. Blaze. She was just going around, but in order to do some of the combos, you had to flip it, and the mechanism, it was not worked out. It was too buggy.
Okay.
Yeah, it just didn't work.
Didn't pan out.
No. But it worked in other things like flying and stuff, I think was good. Actually, in your grenade arc, in the first Uncharted, your grenade arc was this.
Right.
Yeah, you throw the grenade, you're like, I want to throw it farther, you tilt up.
Right.
Like,
I remember that.
That's good mechanic.
See, that's what I'm saying, I like that the fact that it makes you more involved with the game.
Well, let's talk about Wii. The Wii reached out.
Go.
The Wii, everyone knows. The Wii reached out to senior citizens and old folk homes. I think they're still, for bowling. I mean, it's like video games are here and they're everywhere, But what makes the game great? Maybe because it takes advantage of these mechanics. They've never had these mechanics before.
Sure.
I mean, just simply the save feature in the first Zelda, the gold cartridge. I always knew the gold cartridge is the one that has a special chip, and I knew about it. I learned about silicon or whatever it was called. I was like, oh, microchip. Oh, that's why it costs more. That's why it's hard to get this game because they had to put this chip in. You couldn't save game.
Right.
There's no save game.
Yep.
It was like you play it, and when that thing powered off, or heaven forbid, went blue screen, flashing screen on you, and you had to blow the cartridge. To blow the cartridge out, it was game over. It was
game. Yeah, exactly. That's all you had. One time.
There was passwords. Those worked in Metroid, and password. The first Metal Gear had passwords.
Okay.
The god awful first password for Metroid, everyone, was, I think 96. No, not 96. Like 70. At least 50 characters.
Okay.
And we're talking zeros, ones. Right. And so as a kid, I was in 4th grade. I'm trying to write down, and I had my 4th grade penmanship. And I don't know the difference between a zero and an O. Okay. The letter O.
Right.
So as a kid, I knew I had to write a box. A box was an O.
Oh,
and
I see.
A circle was a zero.
Yeah.
So I had to get my cipher on really early as a kid,
right.
Because if I didn't get the code right, all my progress was for naught. All my remote control missiles. Hey, Snake, I'm talking to you. All my remote control missiles were gone. I was pissed. Yeah. But anyway, Zelda had a save feature. You could hit start and you could save it. You had 3 slots to save your game. It was huge. Game changer.
Right. Yeah.
I love Zelda. First thing I did when I got my Wii, I downloaded Zelda and played the whole thing through.
Right, because then you could finally save. And then when the, what was it? It was the PlayStation that was the first one to have the cartridge, right?
Yeah, the memory card. Yeah, memory card.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden now you could actually continue your progress and to play it in one day.
Yeah.
I mean, because some of those games, it took a while.
Yeah. Isn't it so funny, like the circle that happened with PCs? Because now, you look at the Xbox, and you don't use little memory cards anymore. It's essentially a computer, the hard drive. But look how long it took. Even the PS2 had memory cards in its external modem. It was like, why don't you just be a computer?
Right.
Why can't you just be a computer? I mean, that really was Bill Gates' thought behind Xbox, because it had the DirectX video card.
Right.
So let's say it's a DirectX, let's call it an Xbox. It's just an Xbox. And they called it that.
Right.
They would try to bridge that gap, but it took a while. That's right. It took, and that's why they call it the stupid name Xbox One. It's the command center, the center of all your things. It's the hub. It's the one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm like, really? I mean, you guys, come on. It's never has technology been named so stupid since the new iPad. When they first came out with iPad,
right?
The second model, it wasn't iPad 2. It was the new iPad. Look it up.
Really?
Look it up. Yep. Apple. This is after Steve Jobs freaking passed and left us. Apple's went downhill. All right, let's not bash products. We're not.
Let's not dwell there.
Hey, your laptop might shut off on us if we talk too much crap. So
yeah, that's true. It's listening to us.
But technology. I'm sorry. That also makes the game great if you're using the technology.
Right.
I mean, where's the PS1 controller? It doesn't even have rumble feature or analog sticks.
That's true.
You didn't have analog sticks to aim. You couldn't aim with analog.
You just had the...
I mean, I remember doing some of my first sniper missions in GTA 3, which was groundbreaking, a 3D experience of the first Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
Took the world by storm. He couldn't talk yet. He was still a speechless character. Mm-hmm. But you had the analog sticks, because the PS2 had it in spades. Like, not only that, but you can click the stick, too. It introduced L3 and stuff. Sure. It's nuts how many buttons.
And that's the way games have adapted and made new technology out in the VR now. It's really cool. Crazy, man.
Everyone, there's a speaker in the PS4 controller, and the few games, when you're listening to an audio log, I'll walk up, and it's like dark out. It's like, so this little speaker's talking to me, this raspy voice, like, oh, I died and I'm playing the game, like, oh, watching out for the monsters, she's talking. It's a really cool experience.
I think they need to do more of that.
They need to do more. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They can use more. So these actually, because Xbox doesn't have this, guys. I mean, I play Xbox One all the time, but they don't have this like little draw pad you can like do drawing on and stuff. So every console has its own little feature. So
sure.
You know what, guys? It's not what makes a game great. It's also what makes the console great. And there's console exclusives we should talk about as well.
Oh.
There's a reason why. Because guess what? I can't play Terrace Kasi on anything else except that box right there.
Right.
So there's something to be said about that.
Right.
Now Fallout 76 can be played on the traditional 3 platforms: Sony, Microsoft, or PC.
Oh,
and that's the every
right.
Would you like to pre-order?
Right.
Would you like that for PC, Xbox? It's like, you want fries with that? I mean,
right.
It's become so commoditized now. I mean, it should. It's $1 billion industry.
Sure. And let everyone play it then instead of just
monetized.
let everyone play it, not just those with the Xbox.
Yeah.
Right. No Monopoly. Come on.
We're at
25. Yep. So
doing good.
We are doing good
so
here.
Topic 2.
Topic 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
are we ready? Are we ready?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. I have one more thing I want to say.
Yeah. So difficulty of games. That was a long way to saying difficulty. They can't be too hard.
Yeah.
And it has to be accessible to the people. I'm just saying.
Right.
Let's not make it too hard and not make too many freaking buttons, but
exactly.
Make it so people can play it.
Absolutely, but you're absolutely right. There's a lot of variables again with what makes a game great.
Yeah.
But one thing for me, because nowadays games are very solo person playing, one person playing or playing online, right? So you're not playing with anybody but someone digitally.
Right. Okay.
For me, I think what makes a game great, especially those that you can play over and over again, that you can play down the road years and years later and decades later.
Yep.
But it's that playing with a buddy. Playing with somebody, 2-player, on the same screen. And that's a feature that is not always existent in a lot of games. So you take something like Star Wars Battlefront, right? You have the ability, especially the first one, you have the ability to play co-op here, right here.
Nice, couch.
You can play different kind of missions.
Yeah.
And then you can play, online. Or you can play by yourself.
Okay.
And I think the second one, or it was a game just like that. You could not play with like a co-op. And I'm like, I like the ability to play with somebody. I think is what's always attracted me, because of Nintendo. That was my first true gaming.
Yeah.
Right, and that was a lot of buddy playing.
Did the first console come with standard with 2 controllers? At what point did our console start coming with just one freaking controller?
Great question.
I think it might be PlayStation. For as much as I revere it, I think they only gave you one controller. You had to buy the extra one.
I don't remember. Did you have to buy a secondary Nintendo controller?
I think that came with 2. Standard, yeah. That's what it was all about. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Well, plus there was no internet connectivity. I mean, let's be real.
Right.
But 2-player, that's a requirement. We grew up on it. That's what we're saying.
Exactly. But I think a lot of games now, the great ones are the ones that are great detail, great immersion, all the things that we just talked about make the games nowadays. But the games that are later ones, the reason why you play them a lot is because you can play them with a buddy, because you can play them again, and they still have the same appeal.
Get this, I work with a guy, he's at least 10 years younger, I think he's 30 something. He's a young dad, married, but him and his wife were both, I guess you can call them millennials, I don't know, but they have a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo.
Cool.
And they're casual gamers. And they break those things out when it's party time. When they have their party or their friends over, they always break it out.
Because those are great party games. Right.
I mean, they're not nowhere near our level of nerdiness with their games. They're just casual gamers.
Yeah.
Like, we're not too into it. I'll talk about games. He's like, I'm not too into games. I'll try to this new game at work. You just cooler conversations at the office.
Right.
But really, if you keep it casual and just talk about Mario and 2-player, he's all about it. Because that's what it's about. It's a party thing. Hey, remember Rock Band?
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that?
I didn't have them on my list, but
you texted me. I was like, man, that's phenomenal.
Why did I not have that on my list here?
Now talk about party time.
Oh my God.
There was a wave and people watching this, they probably know, there's a wave that swept it. It was like, I was in Chicago, I was partying in Ann Arbor, I was partying anywhere. Not that I was that hard of a partier, but it didn't matter where I was in my small little Midwestern bubble. Any party you walked into,
oh my goodness.
I think, when was this, 10 years ago? When was the peak of Rock Bandom? Anyway,
that would have been just about 10 years ago.
There's a party, but there's always a TV, and there's at least 5 people, if not 6 or 7, because their spectators are waiting to playing Rock Band.
Yeah.
Playing Rock Band at a party.
Yeah.
And then there's like the non-Rock Band,
and
the smokers are outside, or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. The people are over. You'd be like, okay, well, it's not my turn. And it was just something to do.
Right.
And everyone was into it.
Yes.
Musicians, non-musicians, gamers, non-gamers. Girls who, I've even heard them say, even years before that, video games are for kids. And then they're sitting there on the drums like, this is the coolest thing ever. It's like, yeah, video games do suck, I know, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're on Facebook 24/7. I'm sorry, everyone. Rob Free's official opinion is Facebook is a video game. And if you don't think it is, we'll have a conversation. It's my opinion, and I think you could beg to differ.
I don't never thought about it that way.
But I think about it, and I approach it as a video game. It's just, it's not life. It's made up. It's fun. It's a lot of it's made up. It's definitely a lot more truthful than a freaking Tekken fighting game. But I approach it, it's like the time my dad told me that, all the cars you buy, Rob, they're just appliances. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I get really emotional and really tied to my car. It's my ride, man. It's awesome. It all smells tight. I clean it. It's like, dude, it's just an appliance. It's like, congratulations, you have a really clean refrigerator. Right. And then my viewpoint changed. Yeah. See, I just got off topic. Yeah, no, anyway, if your viewpoint changes, that's what I'm saying. You no longer look at it as this thing. It's now... And so if you look at Facebook or Rock Band as a video game, or even Guitarsmith, because it went one step further, and I'm not done. I already learned guitar, so I think maybe it could teach me something, but there was something called Rocksmith, and a coworker just 5 years ago said he learned how to play a lot of guitar from Rocksmith. A real electric guitar plugs into his video game console. Oh, and on the screen, it teaches him how to freaking play guitar. That was brilliant. And I've seen. I was like, well, at my worst, I'm like an intermediate level guitar player. At my best, I could probably, get semi-professional. I think. Just depends on how much I practice, really. Sure. But I just didn't think Rocksmith was for me, so I've never tried it out. Everyone, but I hear it works.
Hey, and that's what's cool about video games too is the fact that you can do something that maybe you don't know how to do or that you're not. That being somebody you're not, right? Yeah. Being able to play instruments, and not have to have any musical background. Yeah. And I think that's kind of cool is being able to do those kind of things, and that's what games makes a game great.
It does. It does. One thing to point out on Netflix, we pointed out Hip Hop Evolution. We won't go into it, but there's a video game, I think Video Game Revolution or Evolution. It's on Netflix, and they explain this, and they explain some of the things. And let's move on to our next topic about replayability.
Topic number 2.
Because they do document people's lives and people on MMOs getting married and the social impact and ramifications with that, and that topic you just touched on. Yeah, there's a documentary on it that covers a lot of ground on that. It's just like, it's something that something worth watching, and it goes into a lot of those details that I don't need to go into now. But so
what is topic number 2?
The hugest thing. This is what we're talking about. The hugest thing that makes a game great: replayability.
Yes.
And the most genius thing I wanted to bring up that I sandbagged, I didn't want to talk about, is achievements and trophies. When those dropped, a replayability of the games, I think doubled or not tripled. I spent so much more time with that disc and that console. Yeah. If I'm interested at all in achievements, and I know there's people I talk to, and the guy's like, "Oh, I don't care about achievements," and that's fine, but I do. And it makes me replay the games a lot. So let's bring that up.
Especially with the PlayStation 3 for me, it was all about replayability. It was all about those achievements, all about those. All about that's all I wanted out of a game. And that's where I was really involved in gaming, right? That's when it was a peak for me. Yeah. It was right around the peak. PS3 was my peak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's when trophies kind of dropped. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's cool. So that's replayability. But it's not just that, is it? Is it more than just the trophies? And what makes a game replayable?
Well, that's the thing. The nuts and bolts behind what I said is the trophies, is that the trophies usually have you collecting something or something, or going to some area. Okay. Actually, there wasn't a trophy for it, but I did it in Vice City to collect all the packages in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the secret packages around the city. Right. I already just knew the city by the back of my hand. I was like, one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. And I had the strategy guide or something from a magazine. I had all 99 locations. Sure. And I went around one morning.
99 of them.
2.5, 3 hours. Well, I had some collected. Wow. Remember, you could save your game. I mean, it didn't.
Sure.
So I had some already taken. Oh, but I had to go to each location because I didn't know which ones I had.
Got it.
So I get to locations that it's supposed to be here. Okay, check it off the list. Right. So I still had to go to 99 locations.
Sure, you're right. Okay.
There wasn't a trophy for that.
There wasn't a trophy for that.
Let me tell you, when I went through there, I noticed there was another place where I knew where I can get all the dirt bikes and all the ammo pickups and weapon pickups and there were secret health pickups.
So it gave you a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, so I'm saying the replayability and trophies did this. Like, I was looking at new locations when I was playing God of War or Uncharted. when I went to look for all the treasures.
Sure.
I was climbing on top of buildings with great viewpoints, and I was exploring more of the game, and I was like, whoa, this game's even cooler than I thought, because I was trophy hunting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And that got me more immersed in back to topic 1. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
So it sucked me in more.
Yeah, that's...
So one hand washes the other. Because it's replayable, it sucks you in. Obviously, I mean... How many people listening have their friends or their spouses or whatever, like, playing game, like, hold on, honey, you know, playing. It does suck you in, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's fun, though. Come on.
I mean, it's fun.
It's like,
time frame.
what if I'm out there playing a softball game with my friends? Like, hold on, I'm up to the bat now. I mean, would you sit by and wait for my softball game to finish? Yeah, you probably would. So wait a second, I'm playing my video game. You know, it's all perspective. All right. Not saying that the only thing you need to do is play video games and not ever go outside.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all. That's the greatest part of life that I love, is that I can go outside. And then, since I live next to a lake, I get a lot of rainy days and snowy days. Oh, well, we're playing games now.
That's right.
So,
Gaming.
So.
Okay, so what else about longevity now? When you talk about that replayability aspect.
Right.
I really believe that it just, I mean, obviously it's very personal. It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean, there's so many different aspects about it, whether it's easy, whether it's the detail. But every game that I'm thinking about that I like, it's about that replayability. It's about being able to go back and get those trophies. It's about being able to go back and get those types of things, especially when they give you what you have to achieve. And
that's good too. Yeah,
right?
your goals.
So
that's
you
right.
go through it, and you go through it, and you just and that's when I had time, I could do that. But I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So something that for me to want to play just has to hit all those right notes.
Yeah.
It has to have an interesting character.
Yeah.
It has to have an interesting setting, something that's new but familiar. You know, it's that old adage, you know, show me the same thing but different.
Yeah, there's that too.
You know?
Well, yeah, there's Madnitis, I think, is what they called it.
Ah, yes, with
How can I miss you when you never leave?
Right.
I mean, I watched some brilliant reviews on G4 Network. You know, there's those two. Well, Ed Pereira is one of them, but the other guy's really knowledgeable. He hosts X-Play.
The same place that Attack the Show.
Yeah, you think Attack the Show? That's right. Morgan Webb, and then the guy, I can't forget his name, but he's really knowledgeable. He's like super passionate about games, but he explained this very well. You know, his topic sentence on the show once was, you know, how can I miss you when you never go?
Right.
Year after year, there's a new Madden. It's like, at what point am I, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and also spoke to Fallout 5 and Skyrim 6. When those drop in like 2021 and 2024 respectively, like seriously, they're making us wait like another 5 years or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it's years we're waiting for the next IP. You know how hungry and thirsty we are? You know how many records it's going to sell? Like, I mean, day one, like Fallout 4 broke a lot of records. It sold a lot in its first week. And that had no online content at all. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't just have to be Call of Duty to break records. It doesn't have to just be the new Madden.
Right.
Thanks for calling GameStop, where you can pre-order Madden, blah, blah, blah. Let me say a bunch of stuff that I say every year because every game comes out. Can I help you?
Right.
Like, and you're like, hi, I'd like the other game that's I had to wait 5 years for.
Right.
And I'll just sidestep through all this like crap here because every year it's the same game.
Exactly. And then I stopped playing them after a while. You know, like I stopped playing Madden because it's the same game all the time. So it's got to be new, but yet like something similar. Like, you know, that's why Drake works. Uncharted works.
Yeah, the pick up and play.
Right.
Now, see, the thing is,
pick up and play.
I know I know you're a husband. I know you're a father. I know you're a working man too. So you know, you have a lot to do, and I still think I wouldn't call you a casual gamer. I think your heart is very much, I think, maybe in the medium realm. I look at casual as like I don't really care. You're still passionate. You just don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, right.
So I don't want to confuse people with.
Oh, that's true. That's
with
a good
your
point.
passion is your time commitment. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I just frankly don't have a lot of time to do that much. So I choose carefully what I do spend my time on.
Right.
And just because I don't have spend that much time doing something doesn't mean I'm not passionate about it.
Absolutely.
So that's why Yeah.
Right.
So I appreciate it because I think I let you borrow Uncharted and you finished it in a couple 3 months.
Yep. But
Might take another guy 3 days.
Right. But I
think you both loved it.
But it was like a video game within a video game. I had an objective.
Yeah.
I had to finish it before we got together again.
Oh, okay. Well,
and I knew I had a goal.
Okay.
You know, so...
Well, talking about something else, like Alien. You spoke about this earlier. Alien, I want to play Alien Isolation.
So...
It's a good game.
Yeah, and that's...
What happened there?
So that's the difficulty aspect of it when it comes to games, where...
so that's not replayability.
Where you
stop
have to know too much about the game.
Okay.
To just... you can't just pick up and play.
Like example.
So I played this game, Alien Isolation. Mike gave it to me, and... I started playing it. It was really cool. It's very quiet, very atmospheric, and right up your alley. You're going to really dig it.
Okay.
And yet, at the same time, as you start playing it, if you don't remember what you were doing,
Oh.
You can't get caught up to speed. You don't know what happened. Where you
so
you come back in a month later.
Okay, it wasn't like mechanics. Like, I forgot how to equip a weapon, or I forgot how to upgrade. Oh, I have to upgrade ammo.
Well,
Wait,
maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't have my armor equipped. Whoa, I was playing. Yeah, I do something like that.
There's that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I just forgot how to play the game. Really.
Right.
Yeah,
and you can't just pick up and play it.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about the older games is that you can just pick up and play Tricky.
True.
You can just pick up and play Terrascasi.
Well, fighting.
You might not know the move, right? Of course. But you might not know how to do everything great, but at least you can pick up and play it because there's not a lot to know.
Yeah. Oh, I say that with Drake. I mean, that's one of the most recent AAA blockbusters, I think. Is one of the best games to be released in years, maybe of all time.
Right.
But anyway, that's a very new game. 3 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old, I don't know. I think it's like 2 years old. The point is, it's not that hard to use. Even though I went over all the buttons, really, there's you got to jump and climb on stuff. You're constantly climbing on stuff. You got to move your guy around.
Right. Yeah. Move your vision around sometimes.
You know, you could swing the camera, but honestly, we're just tweakers, and you do that. I let Simon explore a little bit. It's just I want to see how you explore, and I put on an auto camera, and it was swinging around when he had to climb on something. It went and he could see. Oh, I'm climbing on like front and center. Was like, oh look, there's a ledge.
I should turn that on for.
There's like an auto. Okay. Yeah, there's an auto. Thing. You know, I mean, this wasn't not the fighting parts. Actually, that's what I also appreciate about the game. The checkpoint. It's a exploring section. Where I'm solving puzzles. I'm taking my sweet time exploring puzzles.
Okay.
And then that's it. And checkpoint. Okay. Because the next time it's, grenade launcher. Well, okay, we'll turn it off now. This is a battle section. This is where guns and I have to do headshots and kill people. And that's a whole separate. And it's fast paced and I don't want to put the controller down. And that's what I appreciated actually about that game too.
Yeah.
It had segments. And it was easy to pick up and play. Either you're in a searching section where there's 5 buttons I'm using.
Right.
Or I'm in a fighting section where, okay, fine, there's a little more extra buttons in fighting. There is. But it's not that hard of a game. And you didn't have to toe the line and try to be 2.
Right.
So, because game identity, just like we talked last night with the movie biopics, either you're a documentary or you're a dramatization, dude. You got to figure it out. You can't toe that line.
Right.
And that's exactly what ends up happening with people. Like, the casual gamers sometimes just want to explore. And when the combat comes, it's like, I don't know. Right. And they've made easy modes, Jay. Final Fantasy X. No, not Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy 12 or 13. There's an easy mode in combat. Because you had to, like, equip all these perks, and it was really complicated. Level up, and it was all this, like, I don't have time for this, but there's casual mode.
Okay.
And during play, that you just hit X to attack, and it would attack with the optimal thing. Or if your guy was low on health, you just hit X, and it would heal for you.
Okay.
So you could sit there literally and just kind of watch the battles and just kind of go through. It was called Easy Play.
Okay.
And even Mass Effect had one where it was like the combat hit, like there is no aiming, like you just pull the trigger and it automatically hits them, and it's like you don't have to think about it too much. So you know what I mean?
It allows a lot more people to be able to play it right away.
Yeah, but that's only recently they've come out with those settings. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there's been many frustrating moments over the past 20 years, I'd say, of modern gaming, where I put the thing on the shelf. I'm like, I can't figure this out.
Right.
And there is no easy button.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I have another example. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Great game.
So I have that, and I'm at the last thing. I'm at the last guy, the last battle, right?
Oh gosh, is it impossible?
Yeah, and you haven't played?
No, that's the thing. I had a shelving moment myself.
Okay.
Because I was all into it, and I marathoned it, and then I'm at a point where I have to sneak and fire an arrow, and I can't figure out the mechanic to do it right. I could do it lame and just like put it on easy and just go in there and go, I don't know, but like I don't want to do that to myself because it's an important part of teaching you.
Be exactly, you're a gamer, man. You don't want to take the short route.
Well, I mean, sneaking and firing on raider camps and conserving your ammo, that's my style of play, and that's what needs to be played in that game. You can't just willy nilly because you have to craft all your ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm no stranger to that. Ammo is like gold sometimes in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. I mean, that 40mm grenade, like it better take out 2 or 3 enemies. I'm not just shooting at one guy and then missing. You know what I mean?
Fallout prepared everyone for Horizon Zero Dawn.
Everything comes back to Fallout. Well, Resident Evil. I'm going back to Resident Evil. The first time ammo management, and that's on this one, guys. Resident Evil 2, played with you, 98. The new one's coming out 2019 in January.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, let it go and degrade. Buy it.
Okay. Yeah.
8 months later on GameFly, $19.99 maybe. 2 years later it'll be $9.99 or $7.99. Watch. Just take your sweet time.
Yeah.
That's what I do, man. Like I told you, I explore the library of Xbox 360 now. I'm getting some. Even there's an Xbox One game called Mad Max. There's one of them I saw. It was in the
I owned that at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get that now. I've never played it. It's $4.99 now.
Okay, so
$5.99.
It's worth the play, obviously.
$6.
It's worth it. But here's that's one thing that I find that games miss on. That's why it's not a great game. Here's why it's not a great game.
Okay.
We talk about why it's a great game.
Yeah.
It's repetitiveness.
Okay. See.
And having no change throughout the game, where you have this big open wasteland that you're operating with. You have all these different factions, all these different objectives.
Everywhere you go.
Every one of them that you go to, you have to do the same exact thing. It's just rinse and repeat. And I didn't finish it all the way through because I was like, I was looking for some. I'm hoping for it to change into something else at least. Like different. Okay. What do I mean by change? I just mean it has to move like a movie. It has to move into something else, right?
That's why boring movies are boring, because they don't change.
Look at Uncharted, constantly moving from one different dynamic set piece to another big dynamic set piece, and always continuing to grow.
They did a good job. That's right, and that's why Uncharted 2 was better, because one, think about it, it was probably really repetitive, and designers do that when they make sequels.
Right.
So there's a fine line. Here's two things we touched on. There's a fine line between being boring and repetitive, which obviously is not that much challenge, which is great because too much of a challenge makes us put it on the shelf.
Right.
So we're towing the line between being too easy and repetitive and then too dang hard.
Okay.
And then the second thing we're worried about here is the balance between oh gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. The balance between
good and evil.
No, yeah, that's always the one. Madnitis.
The Madnitis pack.
Do I want it to come out constantly and always be there, or do I want to wait for that sequel? And now, when the sequel comes, and this is the point I was taking, I just wanted to review how we've already talked about those two things.
Gotcha.
The sequel should come. And by the way, that's another topic we can talk about maybe on our podcast, is sequels. You should have a whole thing on movies and game sequels and why they're good, why they're bad,
Right.
But that's a whole thing.
Sometimes why they're not necessary, sometimes why they are.
Exactly. So we all have established, I would not mind if Madden did every 3 years or every 4 years or whatever.
And just throw you a digital update.
Here's a roster update. That's right. The engine.
So here's some new kinks that we can work with.
I didn't even think of that. It's even more brilliant.
Right?
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on. It's not that hard, right?
Yeah. Two dudes on a couch just thought of something good. I'm sure everyone else thought of it.
Like my the idea I came up with. How much I'm not going to say.
We don't say it. That's proprietary.
That's right. That's proprietary shit.
I'm gonna
what else?
Again?
What else?
Oh, fire! Oh! He wasn't ready.
I wasn't paying attention.
He wasn't ready.
Man. I didn't even have my ticket there.
All right. So, what time is it? 45?
Yeah, we're
46. We're
46.
perfect. High five.
Oh, cool.
High five. Top five.
Top five.
High five. Top five. All right.
High five. Top five.
High five. Top five.
Okay. So
anything else on the last topic though? One more time.
I think we got it. I think I think it's about there's a lot of variables. It depends on when you were playing the games. Depends on what experience you had when playing those games.
Right.
And those all add
playing with friend versus online. We're getting sucked in. Yeah. Not too hard.
And then even the buddy thing I said up earlier. Let me just say one more thing about that is. It went from having to play together to being able to play still together.
That's true.
Because before it was just playing online, then it became playing with your buddy.
Yeah, because I remember you used to play you on the PS2. You played John Madden
with Mike. Yeah, we'd play. That was the first time we were playing online together like that. I played games on PCs where you're online, but it was different.
That's pretty sweet.
Right? It was cool. And then we started playing Call of Duty online, and then it was like we had all four of us. Yeah. And that was pretty cool.
Well, now the new Fallout 76 is very good. That's what I'm saying. That's my new thing I'm kind of into. Really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so top five.
Here we go. Top 5 games of all time. Wow, it's a hard list. It's a hard list. All right, I'm going to go first.
You go first.
My house, I go first.
You go first.
In no particular order, and I talked about this earlier, I found 99 packages. And the bitch ain't one. No, I'm kidding. I found 99 packages in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Main character voiced by Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
See, unlike Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City had a talking protagonist, and his voiced by Ray Ricotta Cheese. And he was good, amazing if not. Tommy Vercetti, and so he was a very Scarface type character. I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about because it sold a lot.
Oh yeah,
it sold so much that the pre-order phenomenon was pretty much created around San Andreas, which came out afterwards.
Well, I thought it was about Madden. Wasn't it always about Madden? Madden's pre-order date.
Well, I
always
freaking hate Madden and never played it. And it's
I remember always. That's the only game I ever win.
There's probably something I don't know about because I don't care about. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's a fact, Jay. Actually, because Super Bowl Sunday is a national holiday in our country.
Right.
I mean, it was everyone. And Grand Theft Auto got demonized, maybe for good, but not really that good of reasons. No, people are all, what's this guy? I'm like a robot.
Eddie's feet aren't going to work.
People, Grand Theft Auto got demonized a lot, okay? So anyway, I just want to say that. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, one of my top favorite games of all time.
Okay. So number 2.
Number 2, SSX Tricky. It's right here. Here it is.
Can't argue with that.
I'm just gonna hold it up like that.
Nice.
so they can see. There you go. This game, awesome.
It's one of my favorites of all time.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say it's on my list.
We'll talk about it when you get to it.
It's
Third,
such a
Resident Evil 2. Wow, I've already talked about. Hey, I did the same thing when I
It's okay, man. But
that's what makes the game great.
Right.
Is because Resident Evil 2, the immersion,
Yeah.
the piano, the themes, the fully voice acted. I mean, that you couldn't see their mouse move, and they were doing like jazz hands, like I said in another podcast. But fantastic movie. Or game.
Exactly,
game.
right. But that's the thing is, Resident Evil 2 for me was also fantastic. I think Resident Evil 1 holds a better place for me because of how I played it.
Yeah.
And it was in the basement, in the dark.
Yeah.
It was cold.
It was just like,
dark.
This is crazy.
Yeah, and it was,
it blows your mind.
Freaking me out.
First time ever, do a zombie? Oh, do a headshot? Whoa, a headshot and zombie. Do blood everywhere. What is this game?
Exactly.
There was never that much blood on my Sega Genesis.
And I was 21.
Yeah.
Because I was drinking Old Milwaukee.
Tastes as good as it sounds.
Okay, but that's great. Yeah, so Resident Evil 2 is awesome.
Love it. And Fallout 4. Now, Fallout 76 is just not going to make the cut.
So which one did I play, Rob? Was it 3?
You played Fallout 3. Okay. Fallout 3 is awesome. Fallout 4 is just, it's got everything right.
Is it better than Fallout 3?
It is, and a huge thing which started happening because it was been going on even in the Fallout 3 days, modding. The PC console users always had console commands, so they could mod even within the game.
Right.
They could spawn a bunch of mini nukes or something, so they didn't have to go hunting for them. And just do a little more of the rote stuff we call farming or grinding.
Sure.
I'm looking for ammo or resources. Oh, I just can't wait till I level up. I'm just sitting here. You could just make yourself level 30 and console commands and mods. Okay.
Yeah.
That came to Fallout 4.
Okay.
Which I already thought was a fantastic game. It's got a AAA music soundtrack. It's one of my favorite musical scores of all time. Video game musical scores of all time. And Fallout 4, I spoke about it in our podcast. Nice. Yep, it's absolutely amazing. So anyway, and then Call of Duty. Actually, there's one Call of Duty in particular, and I think this caused you and I to accelerate our online gaming and friendship.
Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2, exactly. Yep. Modern Warfare 2. COD 4 came out. We were kind of into it a little bit, but at the same time, I think we were still visiting each other a lot. I lived in Nipsey.
Yeah.
We were still seeing each other every 2 or 3 months, so we didn't really feel like, we were doing our own thing, and I think we played online, but I think actually Modern Warfare 2 came out a year later. It was one of those, because, COD comes out every year.
Yep.
So I think it was only a year later than that was the peak for me.
Yeah, I think it was for me too.
You and I were we were going offline. We were doing LAN, I think, 2 TV kind of things, planning setups.
Yep.
This guy will have a heartbeat sensor in the stairwell, and I'll be up here sniping.
Right.
I thought that was pretty genius.
We were trying to plan that shit out,
But I mean,
tactically.
when a video game makes you do that.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's in my top 5 of all time.
That's all right, man. That is, I can't argue. I can't argue
Pass
with
the
that.
mic. All right, you go.
My turn?
Yep, your turn.
Okay. Did you go through 5?
I went through 5.
Really?
Yep.
That was quick.
Oh, Metroid. Sorry, Metroid.
Okay. Metroid.
Top 5.
Okay, top 5.
And why Metroid? Because Metroid had codes and longevity.
Okay.
So you could play it for hours and then write down the code and then continue your journey. It didn't have a save game, but it had codes. And Metroid introduced me to the phenomenon which was perfected in Resident Evil 2, which is on my top 5 list, of key A unlocks lock A to access to area B.
Right,
Or you find key B to unlock door B to access area C.
Oh, right.
And that vehicle was delivered through jump boots. Your character couldn't turn into a ball to go to another area until he got the little ball thing.
Right.
And he couldn't have jump boots to jump higher until he got the jump boots, but he had to unlock the door by shooting the wave cannon. And the door can only unlock wave cannons. Only purple bubbles can be popped.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was ways...
freaking me out.
Dude, as a kid, I was eating it up. Oh man, this makes total sense. And looking back on it, it was the gold standard of game design.
And this is Metroid?
Metroid, 1986.
Wow. I played it, but not nearly like that.
Oh, I would do speed runs, and then you could turn into a girl. You found the main character, Samus, was a girl. And it's actually one of the flagship parts of the franchise. It was a plot twist. It was like M. Night Shyamalan, dude. And
it's a twist.
It's a twist. She's a girl. She has hand cannon. Yeah, and I was like, okay. Anyway, I'll keep playing. And it was cool as you run here. She had green hair, behind her, and you could do a whole playthrough as a girl. It was kind of neat. So anyway, one of my favorite top 5 games of all time.
That sounds good. It's a good list, man. I like some of those polls. I have one since I'm gonna go with mine now. One I'll start with the common one we have was SXX Tricky.
Tricky. Huh.
This game is great because the music, first of all, it's Run DMC. And you get that every time you get to a special thing. The music's great. It's good sound. It's cool characters with all very different uniqueness where you can play depending on how you wanted to play.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah, some were like better fighters for border cross, and some were better like stunt guys.
Right. Some were better for speed.
That's cool.
Right. So there was a lot of difference there.
Yeah.
And you had the fact that for me it was one of those first ones that you could actually upgrade your character to have different abilities as your...
We never talk about level up. Real quick. Level up is a longevity thing.
Yeah.
And when you level up, that feeling, because I'm sorry, level up, that's the dopamine. Bling, you're like, level up.
Right.
And the trophy
you always
thing.
want to make something better.
So why are we longevity? Yeah, right. Because we're getting that dopamine release.
Yeah.
We're getting that confirmation of like you did something right. They call it reward, that's all. And I don't mean to say like we're hooked on drugs. I'm just saying there's a reason why you feel good. And you win something.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think competitive people might have more of a dominant receptor and they feel more pleasure from winning. That's why they're competitive.
Right.
You gotta realize we're just a lot of times we're just animals. I know I have my own little theological ideas in my head, but I'll just refrain from sharing those. But no, we're animals at the end of the day sometimes, you know. And so we respond to certain things.
Bow, yippee, yippee.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Number 2.
All right. Number 2, Fallout 3.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those games where we talked about immersion, right? And diving in, the deep dive, and then replaying where you kept playing it again and again to get the different advancements. So it had all the things we're talking about all wrapped up in one. The advancements, replayability,
level ups,
trophies, exactly, and the replaying to get different outcomes. So your character
different
changed.
endings, I think.
Yeah, so the fact that you could play
different endings.
You could play it so many different ways. It was
when a game has different endings.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. It was one of those games where I just always remember because I wanted to play it again and again and again. I don't think I've ever had a game outside of a sports game or a game like for the PlayStation where I wanted to play that storyline again and again. And again, and get all these advancements again. And
that's true.
Yeah.
You can either make the water fresh, release the FEV virus or not.
Right.
And I think there's a karma system, so you could be a good guy or a bad guy.
Right.
And that was cool, revolutionary.
Right.
Yeah, I played that game 17 times through. Yeah.
But I think with that, you have to have the time to play it.
Yes.
You can't just willy-nilly play it once a month.
Yeah.
You've got to play it regularly, otherwise you can't.
Especially on that whole playthrough to remember where you are. Like, wait, where am I with this playthrough? That's true.
And that's where games for me lose. I lose out now, is I can't play that. I have to have something that's going to... Now that my kids are playing a little bit more video games, we'll be playing more of the fun variety, not the deep dive games where you have to
a little more
so much
casual.
time.
That's right. Yeah,
exactly. Casual game.
Shouldn't be sucked that far in.
Exactly. Not Jesse already is. So okay. So that's number 2. Number 3. Number 3. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes.
Oh, very good game. On the PlayStation 2.
Yes. Replayability. I played that first scene on the tanker with Solid Snake.
Yeah.
Probably 100 times.
Tanker scene. So good.
Such a good... Just for that right there, it's a good game.
It's stealth. Sneaking.
Yeah. And it takes about a half hour to play it.
Yeah.
I think it's like 20 minutes is like the tops if you can get through it. I think it takes like 20 minutes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To get through the whole...
Oh, yeah. And there's reflection on the... I
try to do it like by time, like how fast I can do it. Could I do it without being... and there wasn't any trophies.
I don't think there was.
No,
yes, exactly.
But I would try to do it without being seen at all, like with no alerts.
Right.
I try to do it that way.
That's right.
Try to do it this way.
You're challenging yourself.
Yeah.
See, I think maybe that's the one thing that we forgot to mention because we talked about it before with replayability. You're trying to repurpose the game in a way you see fit. Because remember with Tricky, we said this with Tricky. There is no while playing 2-player co-op, each player gets 1 million points on Pipe Dream.
Yes.
In under 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah, we created our
own gold standard trophy. Like, that's a gold trophy for me.
Right.
And when we get that, I feel good because I'm like, yes, because it's freaking hard to do.
Yes.
We made that up.
Yes. And that's what you
made it up that time. You're like, well, I'm gonna not get detected. Go as fast as possible without being detected.
Right.
You made your own trophy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a game great is that it makes you dive in that way and create your own things. It's like take when you were playing with your G.I. Joes or your Star Wars figures or Transformers and you were creating your own little worlds where you were creating your own little battles. You were creating your own little environments.
And we do it now with our boys, with Legos and stuff. Yeah,
right. And so it's the same thing with these games where you are immersed in it. You are playing these characters in some way, shape, or form. In some of the, especially the adventure games, right? Yep. Not so much the fighting games.
Yeah,
but when you're kind of taking on that persona.
That's right. You're acting.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool and when it comes to some of these games. But okay, so that's number 3.
Okay,
number 4, Tecmo Bowl.
Okay.
Tecmo Bowl, another one. I think when you look at all of these, it's the level of detail I went into playing these games.
That's got to be one of the most original, highly played and popular football simulators ever.
I would have to say,
at its time, during its time. I would like to say all time, but
because obviously Madden is far greater because it's on more platforms.
When Madden came out on the Sega Genesis, me and my older brother played that a lot, and that was revolutionary.
Right.
Joe Montana Sports Talk Football was okay, but really at the end of the day, when the Madden franchise took off on Sega Genesis, But what about Tecmo Bowl? Why Tecmo Bowl?
Because it was super. It was easy to play.
Okay.
Right. It's Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay. So
there's a couple buttons to play. You get to play.
Makes the game great. You never shoved that. You never said, "Oh, the hell with this! I can't play it too hard." Okay.
Right. But it was the fact that I was able to play as the NFL players.
Oh, that's right. You could be Bo Jackson.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if it gave the name.
Okay.
Or it gave the number.
Yeah, I think it was a number. It was like, 34 on the Raiders. Everyone knows that.
Right, exactly. I don't think it was namesake. They didn't pay. They didn't pay for the rights yet. They didn't pay for the numbers.
Yeah.
The Player Association.
Yeah.
And so you had the numbers. You knew it was Bo Jackson. You knew it was. And I think in PlayStation and then Tecmo Bowl 2 was when they had, I think, the names and all that. And then they kept the stats.
Okay.
This is also before saving. So for me, why this is my greatest favorite game is I actually kept stats on a season on paper.
Oh.
Playing as 49ers and Jerry Rice.
You were so immersed.
Right.
That you kept your own stats.
Right.
So you could look at him later and be like,
so how many touchdowns did he get?
Look how fat my team was.
Right. How many yards did he get? Right.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and that was like...
That's sweet.
And those are the things...
It's fine. It's still recording.
Yeah, but I want to wake it up.
Yeah. Go wake it up. All right. So it's been an hour though. That's good. It tells us an hour though.
Yeah, and exactly. And we're almost up here.
We're almost done.
Okay. So Tecmo Bowl. That's it's the fact that you're playing as the people that
and it's 2-player with 2 controllers. You touched on that. You had your friends over all the time. You're playing as 2 people.
Absolutely. And it's easy to do, right? And it was a lot of fun. And I remember having a lot of great times with that. But it was also because time frame. Like you say, is if I played that now for the first time, it wouldn't have the impact because I was into football heavily right then.
Yeah.
Like that's when I started to really dive into football, and so I knew some of the players, and I knew.
Yeah. Right. See, you cared about it exactly.
Right. And so that's an important part for me. But so my final one is one that I actually am adding thanks to Rob because he awoke in my memory. Yes, I did have. I'll say what I had before that I crossed off and replaced it with. I had Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
On my list.
We didn't share. It's obvious we didn't share our top 5 lists. Yeah. But I was going to mention it's really cool. We both have an NES, an original NES game on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because RC Program might have made my list. RC Program might have made my list, but that's a good one.
Yeah,
I mean, that was
There's
really
so many Nintendo games.
And there's the baseball one.
Bases Loaded.
Yes. Bases Loaded was incredible. That's when I was writing stats down because you could trade it. Yeah, that was really good.
I played that game with one hand.
Oh, okay.
Because I had a broken arm.
Yeah. We gotta finish this list.
Okay.
Finish this list. I'm getting too casual. Yeah, wrap it up. I just want to relax.
So the one I put on here that I just totally forgot about, now that you mentioned, I was like, that's an absolute must, is Rock Band.
Oh, Rock Band, yeah.
Rock Band, I thought, was so absolutely badass.
I remember on more than one occasion, you're like, you want to come over? You and Jen want to come over? We're having a Rock Band party.
Yeah.
So
we had Rock Band parties.
Yeah, Rock Band parties.
And so
more than one.
Yeah, more than one. We had. It wasn't just the guitar. We had the drums. We had the microphone. I bought a microphone stand.
Oh, a second guitar because you had the bass and guitar.
Right. So I had another guitar. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the mic stand, so you could play guitar and sing.
Yes, or drum and sing.
My gosh.
Yeah, so I was doing like
Collins?
And you're doing songs like the great, and I think also why it was the listing of songs, the collection of songs on that was awesome and great.
Oh, definitely.
Music, right?
Oh, yeah, because they're party music.
Right.
Oh my gosh, Don't Fear the Reaper, more cowbells.
Yes.
I would just sit there and just being like, ding,
right.
me out.
I even bought the cymbals to go above. Remember? I bought the cymbals that go on top. So I mean, we would get together. We'd have parties.
He had a smoke machine. and there were some of those sparks that just fell randomly, like right at the climax, the guitar solo would fall.
Firecrackers.
It lit his carpet on fire.
Yeah,
once,
it was
too.
a bad experience, but it's one of my favorite games. So,
favorite games, absolutely. I loved it too.
And again,
honestly.
I think
it's not my top 5, but
when you think about it, it's all about relatives when you played them, right? And so this is when Tina and I started dating. This is when we got our first dog.
Absolutely,
you know, and and it was just like a lot of fun, right? And
it was worth bringing up. I'm glad I brought that up.
Yep.
You brought up the topic, and I'm looking at your top 5. For you, it's definitely Can I Game with a Friend.
Yeah,
and it's why you drove 3.5 hours to come to my house. You know,
right.
Thank you, by the way. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
So yeah,
cool.
You know, that's what we do. We do.
Exactly.
It's our passion.
Exactly.
You couldn't tell everyone.
We love video games.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and hit the subscribe button, follow us. You know, over on that side.
That side.
It's over there by me.
It's over there. Yeah, over by Tekken.
Over by Tekken.
We're gonna get back to some video games for sure.
All right, man.
Walk them out.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Keep on listening.
And
we'll keep
subscribe.
talking.
Yep. All right. And hit the thumbs up. Game Club.
Round 2. Fight.